and friends from the media. First of all, thank you very much for being present here today and supporting this initiative. Masukao Manav Suraksha Kanun. Masuka was born when four of us youngsters, Kanaya, Shaila, Jignesh and I came together when on Shehzad and my petition in the Honorable Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court sent a notice to the central government and 6 state governments on the vigilantism and the cow vigilantism that is going on. And we thought, what more can happen, what more can we as youngsters do beyond political affiliations to put an end to this sort of vigilantism and lynchings. It is ironical that we are living in an India in 2017, a modern India, where we use modern technology to commit the most barbaric acts, and we use modern technology to spread these barbaric acts. We're filming these acts on the latest phones using 4G to spread it, and the audacity to get away by spreading, or as Digvijay ji said, the rumor mongering, the lies that go along with it, and there is absolutely no punishment for it. The Honorable Prime Minister is a very busy man. Sometimes he's in Israel, recently he was in Germany, sometimes he even comes back to India and attends Parliament. But when he was in Israel, he met that little child, Moshe. We all appreciated it. It was beautiful, he met him. It was the pictures for the world media to see, CNN, Al Jazeera, everybody telecasted it. But there's a gentleman called Ravindra in Delhi who got lynched. A fan of Prime Minister Modi, a Swachh Bharat fan. The man got lynched simply because he told people, do not urinate on the road. I think, one, if the Prime Minister could make time to meet Ravindra's family, and two, all of us need to introspect a society where we are heading, that we head into this sort of violence. What's that forward? In Delhi, government officials were lynched, were chased away because they were scared of being lynched, because they caught people stealing power. So the thieves chased government officials and police away. In Rajasthan, I believe a police officer, she was stopped from doing her duty. The mob surrounded her and started molesting her and attacking her until the other police force had to come and rescue her. This government is trying to make lynching a Hindu-Muslim issue. Lynchings and mob vigilantes are not a Hindu-Muslim issue. They go beyond it. All of us standing here, or all of us sitting here today, condemn with equal amount the lynching of Ayub Pandit as we do to the lynching of Junaid, or as we do to the lynching of Pehlu Khan. And the Prime Minister who often talks about compassion, he cried in Gujarat. He said, do not shoot them, shoot me. To him we want to ask, isn't this democracy? Isn't this a law, the rule of law? Why should anybody shoot anybody? Why shouldn't those who indulge in this kind of violence be not thrown in jail? The Prime Minister then cried a second time in Gujarat, in Mahatma Gandhi's ashram. Said this is not acceptable. The third time in the all-party meeting. But every time the Prime Minister speaks, his own affiliates indulge in another act of lynching. As Sir rightly said, the day the Prime Minister spoke, Praveen Togadia said something else. Why is the Prime Minister not walking the talk? He promised us a 56-inch chest. But I still believe my Prime Minister is a very compassionate man. I do believe that. Except that if the Prime Minister is so compassionate, why doesn't the Honorable Prime Minister and his government reply to our notice in the Supreme Court? 21st is the next date, right, Anas? 3 dates. 3 dates since when the Honorable Supreme Court has given the central government notice. All they do is they come there and ask for another date. There's a Hindi film dialogue, Tariq pe Tariq. Why doesn't the Prime Minister walk the talk? The Prime Minister is a compassionate man. A gentleman called Mahesh Sharma, his union minister, went to the funeral of those who lynched the father of a man who was serving in the Indian Air Force and put a tricolor on this person who was an accused. Mahesh Sharma continues to serve as union minister. And then the attention is deflected that it is a state subject. But most of these lynchings happen in BJP ruled states. Why don't they reply to the notice in the Honorable Supreme Court? There is a false equivalence being created. It works in some people's favor to make this an issue about cow, to make this an issue about minorities, but lynchings go beyond that. Today, yes, a majority of the victims may be Muslims or may be Dalits. But tomorrow it will be women for the kind of clothes they wear. transgenders, migrant workers. And what this law attempts to address to do, is as like Sir rightly said and Salmanji guided us, there is no definition for mob or lynching in the in the current laws. There is no data collection. It is now that the Home Ministry has announced that they will have a data collection for lynching, the National Records Bureau. Until then, that wasn't there. So this law attempts to address that, and I'm glad that that part of the law has been taken up by the government. This law also goes into the aspect of compulsory rehabilitation and compensation for the victims. It also puts the onus on the local SHO, the local police officer, when lynchings happen. We don't believe a local police officer is so bereft of knowledge that 300 men or women accumulate with swords, enter somebody's bedroom to see who they are with, or enter somebody's kitchen to see what meat is in their fridge, and the local SHO has no knowledge of it. If so, then he deserves to be suspended for lack of intelligence. This law also seeks to protect witness. It goes into witness protection. It goes into attributes, as Sir rightly said, of rumor mongering and decimation information. As we all know, there's a false campaign that's created. Rumors are created, and then these rumors lead to outrage. Most of the cases that we've seen have turned out to be fake news. This is something people who market themselves very highly indulge in. And I firmly believe, or us, the youngsters, across political affiliations, whether it's from the BSP, SP, Congress, or other political parties who've come together, left behind our political aspirations, our political ideologies for this law, believe the reason this is happening is because they don't want us, the youngsters, to ask, where are the 2 crore jobs that were promised to us every year? Where is the 15 lakh rupees that was promised to us? Where is the 9% growth? Growth to kuch bhi bata degi, wo to aajkal data wahi manufacture karte hain. But where is that? Because they don't want to answer those questions, a diversion is being made and a communal color is being given to that. And every time we speak about lynching, they come to, but what about Ayub Pandit? But what about West Bengal? But what about this? We are saying this is Manav Suraksha Kanun. No human being should be lynched. Nobody should be lynched. No Hindu, no Muslim, no Brahmin, no Dalit, no man, no transgender, no woman should be lynched. That's all that we are asking for. And a little tidbit about this law. We first called this NASUKA, Nagrik Suraksha Kanun. But then we came up with the name MASUKA, Manav Suraksha Kanun, simply because we think humanity overrides citizenship. No human being, as we saw African citizens were lynched some time ago in Noida. They were lynched on just mere suspicion of carrying drugs. This should not happen. We are a Mahatma Gandhi society, we are a civilized society, and in no civilized society can such barbaric acts take place. Once again, I'm very grateful to these esteemed guests for being present here today. They represent the will of the people of India. Often a statistic is thrown to us that Prime Minister Modi has a majority. Yes, he does. He has 31% votes. The collective vote here is 35%. If that's the number game the Prime Minister wants to play, we also will play the number game. So we request the Prime Minister, rather than playing the number game, rather than doing Man Ki Baat, let's do some Kaam Ki Baat and pass this law. Thank you very much.
Please be seated.